Okay, team, it's that time of year again, the end of the year part where we talk about games at the end of the year, covering the whole year, whatever. It's top 10 games of 2019, and by that I mean my top 10 favorite games of 2019. And this is just my own personal opinion about the games I enjoyed the most. And if a game that you really liked isn't on this list, or if a game you absolutely hated is on this list, I mean, feel free to leave a comment below saying so. I can always use those interactions. But also understand that I'm not saying overall, if you disagree with me, you're wrong or anything. I'm just talking about my own personal preferences. This is my favorite time of year. Everybody just gets to talk about their favorite stuff. And my favorite things are video games, and these are my favorite video games that came out in 2019. Let's just get started. Risk of Rain 2. Risk of Rain 2 is a roguelike third-person shooter, and sort of the objective of the game is that you start in an area and you go around collecting money and killing enemies to buy items. You then activate a teleporter to go to the next area, and while the teleporter is charging up, you fight a big boss. Rinse and repeat. You go through the teleporter, it's a new area, new enemies, new items, prices go higher, and as the game goes on, it gets progressively more and more difficult. The overall gameplay loop is actually really addicting, and this game is super fun with friends, but the thing that really got me hooked on playing Risk of Rain 2 is actually the collectible or unlockable progression system, whatever you want to call it. So you start the game off, everybody starts the game off with one character unlocked, right? The normal third-person shooty guy. But then as you do different objectives and achievements, you can collect like a robot plant, an archer, a wizard, a samurai, an engineer, or an attack on Titan. Graphics look really good. The game doesn't get overwhelmed with its sort of more simplistic style. I think allows for there to be a lot of enemies. Everything's very clear in what's happening. It's cool, you get to see all the items that you get stacked on top of your character as you collect more and more items and become more and more ridiculous. I also think the music is really, really good, surprisingly. Like, Risk of Rain 2 has really good music. I think the game is overall extremely enjoyable. With really good graphics, really good music, a really solid gameplay loop, and really cool characters to try out. Hey man, it's just a good game. Untitled Goose Game. Untitled Goose Game is very funny. It's got a solid concept. I think the graphics are pretty good, and the music really adds to the comedy as well. Goose Game is a fun puzzle-solving game with more than one way to solve each puzzle. I feel like Goose Game is one of those games that just accomplishes everything it sets out to do, right? Its art style is simplistic and cute, which sets the mood. The music sort of adds to this comedy atmosphere, and the mechanics are not complicated or overwhelming, and the puzzles aren't like brain twisters or anything. They're very understandable and very readable. If you find the concept of the game funny, you'll probably like this game, and if you don't find the concept of the game funny, don't play the game. I think it's cute, it's charming, it's got fun gameplay, and overall just a really solid experience. Controversial pick number 1, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Alright, I dabbed in real life. I'm gonna have to edit this. I know you can't see it, but I can hear the dab. This is a problem. So, some pluses for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is that the Marvel Cinematic Universe exists now. Back when the original Marvel Ultimate Alliance came out, I remember playing it, and I didn't know like half the characters, and I certainly didn't know any of the enemies or locations. But in MUA 3, everybody kind of knows these characters. We all know who Black Panther is, we all know who the Guardians of the Galaxy are. We get to sort of see these characters and interact with them, and it's cool. I think we need more Marvel video games, considering how big the movies are. It's really fun to be able to play as a Marvel superhero. I think the design of the game, making it cartoony and more comic booky, is really good. It's really fun to get to play as your favorite Marvel characters. For me, my favorite Marvel character is Spider-Gwen, and I also happen to really like Elsa Bloodstone. I mean, she's Indiana Jones meets Van Helsing. She's great. Yeah, it's pretty basic gameplay, but it's fun when you play with friends and do multiplayer. Really, the experience is just being in the Marvel universe with some of your favorite characters that you don't really get to play as anywhere else. It's not the greatest game, and it does have a lot of problems, notably a weird socketing system and a talent tree that's horrible, but the game is really fun solo and way more enjoyable with multiplayer. Overall, I really enjoy the game, and I really like playing with Marvel characters. It's a fun time. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. So Bloodstained automatically gets an advantage of being a spiritual successor to one of my favorite games ever. It has really great level design, gives you a good, solid, explorable castle. It's got really good flow too. I never really felt railroaded or anything. Like, I never felt that there was a dead end and then I have to go backtrack and run around for one specific area. It kind of always felt like the castle was always opening up multiple areas at a time, and if you hit a dead end at one area, there was like 3 more locations you could go to and explore, and I really like that. I think it has really solid game flow. It's also got a lot of really cute references to other games, mainly other Castlevania games. I mean, it really just is Symphony of the Night all over again with a new coat of paint, which is not a bad thing for me. I love Symphony of the Night. It's also got really good weapon and spell customization. The game offers you tons of spells and a whole host of weapons that all have different animations and attack priorities and different command inputs. Really lets you customize your playstyle. You get to pick the spells you want to have and the weapons you like using, and I really think that allows you to sort of engage in combat in a much more personalized manner than you can in other video games. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a really great game overall with super cool weapons and spells, great exploration, and solid gameplay. Link's Awakening. This is a great remake, completely out of nowhere. Wasn't expecting this game to come out, wasn't expecting to like this game as much as I did, but it's a pretty good time. I actually really like the art style. I think it's unique and it kind of fits this setting that it's creating, this sort of non-real fantasy setting. It's got really good music, and the Roc's Feather is a top-tier item. It's got a good interconnected world, solid dungeons, a good assortment of items to play around with, and it's got distinct and memorable characters like the shop owner and Marin. But yeah, I think it's a really solid game. It's got really good gameplay. I think moving around between the world is really good. I also like the inclusion of Mario characters. It really adds a type of charm to the game. Really fun. Had a blast playing it. Mortal Kombat 11. I already made a video talking about Mortal Kombat, so I'm not going to spend too much time going over it again. It's got really good graphics, really good core gameplay. I think the defensive and offensive meters that are simple to use make the game very dynamic from a much lower skill requirement. It's got stable online, and it's just a really good fighting game. You know, it's really fun to play. I've had a lot of fun playing with my friends. I've had a lot of fun playing it online, and it's got a buttload of extra single-player content you can also go through if you don't want to deal with other human beings, like towers and story mode in the crypt. But again, really fun fighting game. I highly recommend you try it out. It's a really good time. Controversial pick number 2. Smash Ultimate. I know, the game came out last year, but I also don't really like counting games that come out in December as a best of the year thing, because like they've only been out for a month, and who knew if Smash Ultimate was going to be really good a year later. I'm going to be pretty honest. There's plenty of people who are like, oh, the Wii U Smash is amazing and everyone's going to love it and play it. And then like nobody touched it a year later. Anyway, played over 600 hours of Smash Ultimate this year. It's easily my most played game. It definitely had to be on the list. And it's really fun casually. You got all these different characters and these items and these stages. It makes multiplayer really fun. It can get really crazy and it's just an absolute blast. It's also fun in serious mode. There's a wide roster of pretty viable characters who don't feel terrible to use. Most of them are pretty fun in their own right with different movesets, and every character kind of has their own satisfying jank to use that's also very frustrating to fight against, but overall it's pretty good. Smash Online is not good, but when it works, at least it's better than playing against bots when my friends are too busy to hang out with me. Anyway, it's a super fun game. I mean, it is Smash, right? So, it's Smash. It's Smash, baby. It's Smash. So these top 3 games can be in any order. It doesn't matter. I absolutely loved all 3 of these games. But for number 3, we're going to go with Resident Evil 2 Remake. It's got amazing graphics, great music, probably the best delivered narrative of the series, really good gameplay, combining the style of some older Resident Evils with the style of the third-person shooters. The Raccoon City Police Department is super well designed and completely interconnected. It's got crazy replayability with A and B modes for both characters, plus bonus missions, unlockable weapons, and so much more. And, of course, the meme on the scene, Mr. X. Mr. X, who's just your arch nemesis throughout the entire game. It's really good, and it's also pretty scary at times. Hearing Mr. X's footsteps off in the distance is haunting, and it's so much fun to play. RE2 Remake is so much fun to play. Really compelling story, likable characters, scary monsters, tons of replayability, and just an absolutely great time all around. It's a freaking amazing game. It's so good. Just play it already. Anime Waifu Simulator. I mean, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I have a little fun fact about me. Every time I beat an RPG or something similar, I immediately restart the game, get about an hour in, and then put the game down and never touch it again. Fire Emblem 3 Houses is the only game I've ever beaten, only RPG I've ever beaten, restarted, and then immediately beat the game again, and then restarted and started playing the game again. It's so good. Alright, I have over 100 hours in this game. It's got solid tactics combat. It's got good unit customization by being able to make any character any unit you want them to be. Really likable characters. Good character interactions overall with their different story moments that they share. You know, it's got an okay story. It's good enough. The story is probably one of the weaker things about the game. It's able to move the plot forward at a pretty good pace. The overall gameplay loop, though, of Fire Emblem 3 Houses is super addicting, right? You start a month off with a bunch of money and a bunch of tasks, and you get to recruit your students, befriend a bunch of new people, upgrade your units, teach your units new moves and abilities, and at the end of the month, you go on a big story mission where you get to put all of that hard work to use. It's really, really fun. Such a good game. And what makes Fire Emblem even better is the fact that it's really conducive to handheld mode. I've been having to take my Switch on the go a lot, and just being able to pop in and out of a Fire Emblem mission is really solid. I think it's really positive. Really good time. A super good game. Real good. Top tier. Devil May Cry 5. This is my kind of game. Really good graphics, catchy as hell music, stylish, deep, and rewarding action gameplay, a fun and extremely anime-ass story with some of my favorite video game characters, over-the-top action with really cool enemy interactions, amazingly well-designed boss encounters with distinguishable moments, a wide array of weapons leading to crazy and wacky over-the-top combos. There's a motorcycle that turns into a chainsaw sword, you can dual-wield rocket launchers, and you got these super adorable fun taunts you can use to up your rank. Ah, man. Oh, my bad. I left this wrong. I spelled legitimately wrong. How did I do that? How did I spell legitimately with a J? No. No, I meant like I spelled it Jegit. What? Okay, anyway. I was legitimately laughing out of pure, genuine joy while playing this game. I just feel so happy when playing Devil May Cry 5. It hits every bit of me. It's so much fun. It's such a good game. I can't stop smiling. Alright? It's just such a good time when I play it. It's so much fun. It's a great time. An absolutely unbelievably good game. Really good core mechanics, really good graphics, really good music, very enjoyable story, super anime. It's really fun, it's wacky, it's nonsensical, and it doesn't take itself seriously. It's a very likable part of Devil May Cry, is that all the enemies are very serious, and your protagonists are very not. So, it's 10 out of 10. You can equip the Mega Man gun, and then you jump like Mega Man, or you slide like Mega Man. 11 out of 10. The dynamic music fucking slaps. 12 out of 10. All I want to do now is play Devil May Cry 5. Alright, that about does it. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. Thank you so much for the over 100 subscribers. That's nuts, considering that the last time I made a video like this, I believe I had 7 subscribers. So we killed it. We killed it. You guys are awesome. I appreciate that so much. And as always, I really appreciate the comments, the likes, the subs. If you really like this and you want to help out and you want to support the channel, the absolute best way you could do it is sharing the content that you like that I make. And if you want to make me really happy, I always prefer people leaving comments below and talking about video games. Love talking about video games, so feel free to leave some of your favorite games below. If I didn't talk about a game that you really liked, or if I did talk about a game you really liked, feel free to leave a comment about it. I'd love to read it, love to hear it. It'd be super cool. It'd be a lot of fun. Hope you guys have a great new year, great December. I know I'm getting a little bit early on releasing this video, but I'd rather it be early than late. Alright, I'm gonna go back to playing Halo Reach. Yeah, anyway. No, I'm gonna go back to working on a really big video project that hopefully I'm able to get done by January, but no promises. It's a lot of work. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you had a great 2019. Here is to 2020 and all the hindsight is 2020 jokes to come. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, and take it easy. All these voices inside of my head, but on my side and I couldn't read. Frustration is getting bigger. That's so dumb. Not going to the video. Nope.